Welcome, oh welcome to the Breaks Music Show, episode number 5, getting underway in mere moments. We have NDGO, Dearly Departed, and Low Standards. Hang on, right here on the Breaks Music Show.
Hi there, I want to let you know about an exciting podcast called The Breaks Music Show. So what is The Breaks Music Show? The Breaks Music Show is America's most informative new radio show highlighting the world's best unsigned artists. Be sure to find us on your favorite podcast platform as well as YouTube, Rumble, Twitter and more. Remember, every Friday is when you can hear interviews and music from 3 of the best unsigned artists in the world. The Breaks Music Show is a Grebo Inc. production.
It's the Breaks Music Show tonight. We're joined in studio by Low Standards. Now, we got a full crew tonight. We've got Cody, Scott, Taylor, Luke, and Bobby. Now, let's go around and introduce everybody. We're going to start with Taylor. All right, Taylor, what's your position in the band, my friend?
Hey, Ed, thank you for having us. I play the rhythm guitar. I also do a little rapping. If you like rapping, that's what I do.
Awesome. Cody, what do you do, my friend?
I am a lead guitarist, so...
All right. Scott, now you have an interesting position, so you were telling me. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I am the Low Standards mascot, and I also play drums.
All right. Luke, what's your job, man?
Play the bass guitar and do the vocals that hardly anyone can hear in the background.
Gotcha. All right. And Bobby, what are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, Ed? I'm the lead vocalist, pianist, and a little bit of trumpet sometimes.
All right, it's Low Standards. All right, so I got to ask, how did you come up with the name Low Standards? Please explain this.
Well, it's a goof, Ed. It's a goof, all right. We started out as a cover band, and we didn't know where it would go. We just thought we were going to have some fun. And so what ended up happening is we have a collective meal every year where basically it's all of us friends and then our aunts get together. It's kind of a one-off event. And what happened was we were telling them about this band we were getting going. And one of them, I think it was Scott's aunt, she said, "Oh, well, I hope the fans have low standards." And we all let out a laugh, basically. And it was Bobby who said, "That's a band name right there, Low Standards." And so we just kind of went with it.
All right, so there's 5 of you guys in the band. You're all spread out through the United States here. How do you work things out? I mean, how do you get from event to event?
Well, being the one that lives in Florida and we're a Midwest band, I book tickets. I'm a Delta Sky Miles guy. And so it's a lot of back and forth, but thankfully with everything right now, pretty cheap flights. But for you guys, I know you guys can, Luke and Scott, they're in Minneapolis. And they do quite a bit of driving themselves, don't you, boys?
Yeah, it's really nice that we can carpool up, for sure.
I luckily have a guest house where I live now, so usually we all come here for the weekend if we're working on originals. Or I'm only about an hour from Fargo where we play a lot of our shows, so usually this is Low Standards Central these days, so...
All right, so my next question, how did you guys come about? I mean, where did you meet? School or what? On the touring circuit, or how does that work?
I never learned guitar. I never got to hang out with friends much. And then Cody over there on the far side, I decided, I'm going to play guitar. My brother, Bobby, in the band, he had played guitar my whole life. And so basically what happened was I finally was this free man, and I said, you know what? I'm going to call up that guy from college, Cody, because we were on the same floor freshman year. And I said, hey, man, remember we talked about jamming? Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And so we were getting together, and I said, you know what? If we want somebody to sing, because we were just guitar players, my brother, he can sing. He can play bass, too. Excellent. And then, Cody, you knew a guy who drummed. Is that right?
That new guy that drummed, and so we were like, awesome. So we started getting together and playing, and it kind of just snowballed from there, and we never expected to play a show, but all of a sudden, before we knew it, we had an agent and shows on the schedule, so we turned our 5 songs we knew into 60 as quick as we could, which to a lot of the early audience members, was not soon enough.
It's the Breaks Music Show, Low Standards, and here's our song, Metaphor.
Goes a joke at your expense, with a shoulder shrug and a sideways glance, hoping you take offense. Baby, you're a metaphor for everything I'm living for. You're my rock, tied to my leg, in the middle of the ocean, never letting go. You're my reason to be, terrified of ever being free, and it'll always be that way. Take my word, I know it's not my place, telling you what you are or should be. All that truly matters is what you're not, and you're not mine. Baby, you're a simile for everything that matters to me. You're my rock, tied to my leg, in the middle of the ocean, never letting go. You're my reason to be, terrified of ever being free, and it'll always be that way. You're my rocket, I'm the only thing between you and a hard place. You're my rock, tied to my leg, in the middle of the ocean, never letting go. You're my reason to be, terrified of ever being free. You're my rock, tied to my leg, in the middle of the ocean, never letting go. You're my reason to be, terrified of ever being free, and it'll always be that way. Be that
It's the Breaks Music Show with Ed Steele. Low Standards in studio tonight. We have Cody, Scott, Taylor, Luke, and Bobby joining us from various parts of the vast United States tonight. I got to ask you guys, who is your biggest influences in music today? Anybody's free to take that one, I guess.
Yeah, I think altogether as a band, the pretty obvious one is Blink-182. Even still, we still buy their albums and see their shows. So that was a really big one growing up. But lately we've been doing a lot of neck deep, and we love all that 90s rock stuff, Goo Goo Dolls, Matchbox 20. So we kind of mix that together a little bit.
I tell you what, Ed, and it's not, it starts there in the kind of pop punk rooted bands, but we all have such different interests. Whereas like for me, it's a lot of like instrumental stuff. I work with a lot of production, and I listen to things like just, circus music or beach music or African drum beats. And so I have all sorts of sounds that kind of vein through me. I don't know about the other guys. I don't want to speak for them, but it's a collection of a lot of sounds.
My favorite band is the Smashing Pumpkins, but also Blink-182 and everything. So kind of like Taylor said, just different bands all around for all of us that mesh into it.
Yeah, and I got to say, too, like Blink is actually how I joined this band. I was well, that and Third Eye Blind. I was actually at a Third Eye Blind concert in Minneapolis, and all of a sudden, some guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, nice tattoo." And then that guy was Taylor, and he's like, and I'm like, "Cool." I had a Blink tattoo on my calf, and he's like, "I got one too." And we just started talking, and he's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Fargo." And they're like, "Oh, we're from Fargo too." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And they're like, they started talking about their band, and they're like, "Yeah, we're looking for a bass player." And I'm like, "I play bass." And it was just like bam, 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 one thing after another. And this whole time I was just literally going to walk to the porta potty, and I got stopped by one of these guys. So if it wasn't for Blink,
And then he was joined by 3 other guys in the porta
party.
potty.
It's the Breaks Music Show, Low Standards, and here's their song, Keep Your Silver Medal, on the Breaks Music Show.
So I try to satisfy you after everything that I do, beating off the other guys like you're a pile of trash and I'm swatting flies. If it's sympathy you're after, then please excuse the laughter. Guess you had to be there when I was all alone. And if you're here to say you're here to stay, I'll listen politely and try not to interrupt. If you sense hesitation for this reconciliation, it's 'cause these days guys get a prize just for showing up. Seems like every time I think I'm winning the race, another couple dozen guys will start to pick up the pace. You'd think with so much losing I could do it with grace, but you can keep that silver medal, baby, 'cause I'm not your second place. I'm not your second place. I can see how much it's taken to admit you were mistaken. You got a lot of courage, I gotta give you that. Now it's come to this, I see. You took the piss right out of me, even got down on your knees. I like where this is going, but I gotta leave. Now it seems your self-esteem is cut down to a fraction, bent on satisfaction. Don't blame stubbornness or hate, it's only you're a little late. You had to sense my apprehension when I said you look great. Seems like every time I think I'm winning the race, another couple dozen guys will start to pick up the pace. You'd think with so much losing I could do it with grace, but you can keep that silver medal, baby, 'cause I'm not your second place. Back up the line, my friend, my time is better spent. Back up the line, my friend, my time is better spent. Seems like every time I think I'm winning the race, another couple dozen guys will start to pick up the pace. You'd think with so much losing I could do it with grace, but you can keep that silver medal, baby, 'cause I'm not your second. Seems like every time I think I'm winning the race, another couple dozen guys will start to pick up the pace. You'd think with so much losing I could do it with grace, but you can keep that silver medal, baby, 'cause I'm not your second place.
It's the Breaks Music Show, Low Standards, in studio tonight. Cody, Scott, Taylor, Luke, and Bobby. More from them here in moments on the Breaks Music Show. It's the Breaks Music Show, Low Standards tonight. We have Cody, Scott, Taylor, Luke, and Bobby. All right, guys. Next question for you. What are your live shows like, and what's the best show you guys have ever played?
It's chaos, Ed. We've always put on a crazy show. You know, we're jumping around, we're headbanging, we're running around stage like animals. You know, we just have so much fun doing it that no matter how many people we're playing for, we're acting like we're playing at, you know, Wii Fest or something like that. You guys have anything on that?
Yeah, it almost makes me upset, like how insane our crowd is, because at the end of the night, my sound effect pedals are just covered in sticky booze and beer and shots and Fireball, and that's, I guess, it's fun, but it's also very upsetting that we have those kind of fans.
We've had to get a very indestructible PA system because do get some people on stage. But yes, it's fun. This last year has been very frustrating for a lot of people, obviously, but it's fun. We got some shows coming up here finally again, so excited to knock off the dust.
It's kind of wild because you grow up as a young boy, you know, thinking it's impossible to get a girl to even like you, and then here we are on stage 15 years later, and there's literally girls like exposing themselves, which is it's just to even say that out loud, I got to kind of pinch myself a little bit. But it's a lot of wild things that we have stories for the rest of our lives and our kids' lives.
And the resurgence of like the 90s and 2000s rock, which is what we grew up listening to, and all of a sudden you're playing those songs that you imagined in high school, playing yourself to a group of people, you know, because, you know, how we make the money is the cover band thing, and it's just, very cool experience. So
It's the Breaks Music Show, Low Standards. All right, so what's the worst show you guys have ever played?
I thought we weren't going to ask that, Ed.
Well, I flipped
Okay.
the script, man. Sorry about that.
Well, we all have one that sticks out pretty clearly. We had released our first EP, and the songs had all, you know, made their way through our fans, and they were enjoying them, and we thought, hey, how cool would it be to do an acoustic performance? And so we lined up an acoustic performance, and we just were pretty unprepared. And there was, I shouldn't even say that, but pretty much everything
It was supposed to be really easy.
Right.
It was a bar that we'd played a million times. We knew the whole bar staff. All of our family came up. And that was what made it more embarrassing, is that all our moms and dads and grandmas were in the audience.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of technical issues.
We'd packed
loud
the
buzzing.
house. Picture
didn't
all your
work.
instruments not making the sound that they're supposed to. It was
we thought we'd use an electronic drum set for the first time, and that didn't work. And then, true story, the next day the bar closed forever.
Yep.
So
I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, well,
It's the Breaks Music Show, and here's their song, Someone Famous.
I'm singing tonight against my better judgment, but I know every
It's the Breaks Music Show, Low Standards tonight. All right, we just heard the song Someone Famous. Can you guys give a little backstory to how that song came about?
I'll take this one, Ed. Cody, you go ahead.
All right. So basically, it's the riff and the guitar parts has been something I've been kind of fiddling around with for a while, and showed it to the guys, and then pretty much how it was laid down, except for the chorus. And then once Bobby heard it, he decided to speed it up to light speed. This was actually a very slow song before, but then he was like, "Why don't we just do it at a speed that no one can play it live at and record it?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea. Bobby, you can take the rest of it."
Yeah, usually how Taylor, or me and Taylor writes is I'll come up with a line, and usually I'll stick it in a chorus and just take their parts and jam them together. And yeah, with this one I sped Cody's up a whole bunch and fit the verses together, and that's usually how we do it.
Low Standards on the Breaks Music Show. All right. How can our listeners and viewers get a hold of you guys? Where can we listen and watch your videos and all that?
Yeah, thanks, Ed. So we're on all social medias. You find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's Low Standards Live, as in like a live show. You can find us on YouTube. It's just Low Standards. And we got a bunch of music videos out, and we have more coming. So please subscribe on YouTube and all of the above social medias.
All right. Sounds great, guys. Low Standards. Of course, Cody, Scott, Taylor, Luke, and Bobby. More coming up for you on the Breaks Music Show. The Breaks Music Show. Douglas Jackson and Kayla Lynn and the Change. That's on the next episode of the Breaks Music Show.